Hey there, beautiful, spicy ladies. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Whether you're getting ready for the day, winding down, or just scrolling through YouTube looking for something real, I want to take a moment to say thank you for being here. What if I told you that great sex for a man isn't just about what happens in the bedroom, but how he feels seen, wanted, and safe with you, spicy ladies? Let's dive into the real, emotional truths that make intimacy unforgettable for him. Today, we're having one of those rare, honest conversations that doesn't get talked about enough, but absolutely needs to be. There's so much noise out there about attraction and intimacy. Everyone's got an opinion on what makes sex good, especially from a man's perspective. You hear things like, do this in bed, send this text, wear that outfit, and he won't be able to resist you. But very few people stop to ask the deeper question, what actually makes sex great for a man? What makes it not just enjoyable, but memorable, magnetic, emotionally resonant? We often focus on physical technique, but we overlook the emotional side of sex for men. The part that goes beyond performance and gets to the heart of what he really craves, not just in the moment, but in the connection he shares with you. Great sex for a man isn't just about what happens between the sheets. It's about how he feels seen, wanted, and safe as a man, not just a body. So today, I'm taking you beneath the surface to show you what's really going on in a man's mind and heart when he's with someone he's truly attracted to, someone he's not just physically excited by, but emotionally moved by. Whether you're dating, in a relationship, or just preparing for the right connection, this will reframe how you think about intimacy with men. Let's talk about the 5 things that make sex truly great for him. The meaningful elements that make him remember you, want to come closer, and feel like he can be fully himself with you. First up, let's talk about something that's often framed from a woman's perspective: desire. We hear a lot about how women want to feel chosen, beautiful, appreciated. But men crave this too, even if they don't say it or fully understand it themselves. Deep down, one of the most powerful things a man can experience during intimacy is feeling genuinely desired. Not just that you're there or going along with it, but that you're into him emotionally, physically, energetically, that you want him for who he is, not because you feel like you should, but because something about him draws you in. Here's what most women don't realize. Men are under constant pressure to be the pursuer, the confident one, the initiator. Society tells them they should always be ready, always on, always sure of their sexual value. But many men carry insecurities too. They wonder, am I enough? Is she actually turned on by me? Is this just about sex? Or does she truly want me? Imagine this. You're with him, maybe sharing a quiet moment after dinner. You look at him with that spark in your eyes, pull him close, and say, you turn me on so much. That unfiltered honesty, it's dynamite. It cuts through the pressure he feels to be perfect in bed, replacing it with presence, letting him know this moment isn't about expectations. It's about connection. I had a friend who saw this in action last summer, around July 2024, so about 10 months ago. She started being more open about her desire, telling her partner things like, I love the way you make me feel. She wasn't performing. She was just honest, and she said it changed everything. He became more present, more connected, because he felt truly wanted. That's the thing. When a man feels emotionally desired, it awakens something deeper than physical attraction. It validates his emotional masculinity, making him feel powerful, connected, seen for the real him, not just his ego. I've seen this work so many times. Another friend, just a few months ago in March 2025, started showing her partner small moments of desire, like pulling him close during a movie and whispering, I can't stop thinking about you. He told her it made him feel so alive, like the moment was about them, not a performance. When a man feels desired, he stops trying to impress and starts trying to connect, shifting the experience from doing to being. That's when sex becomes passionate, when it feels like you're co-creating something real. So don't hide your desire. It's a gift. It tells him, I see you, I want you, not because I have to, but because I choose to, and that's more unforgettable than any technique. Right now, if you are still watching, I hope this video can help you. Your comments motivate me so much, so I can make more videos which you like. So hit that subscribe button and leave me a message. Let's continue. Now that we've talked about how feeling genuinely desired can light up a man's heart, let's dive into the second thing that makes sex truly great for him, spicy ladies, emotional safety. This might sound a little surprising at first, because we often hear that men are more physical than emotional when it comes to sex, but that's just a surface-level view. When you dig deeper, when you listen to men who are honest about their desires, you'll hear something different. Men want to feel safe too, not in the same physical way women often do, but emotionally. They want to know that in those vulnerable moments, they won't be judged, mocked, or made to feel like they're not man enough if they show sensitivity, hesitation, or a need for connection. Sex is a vulnerable space for a man, even if he's seen as the one who's supposed to initiate or lead. He's still revealing himself, his body, his needs, his insecurities, his hopes of being accepted. That's a big deal. Imagine this. You're with him, maybe sharing a quiet moment after a long day. He opens up about something small, maybe he's nervous or unsure, and instead of brushing off, you respond with warmth, saying, "I've got you. I love that you share that with me." That kind of response creates a space where he feels safe to be himself, not just a guy who's supposed to have it all figured out. I had a friend who saw this shift last summer, around August 2024, so about 9 months ago. Her partner was always a bit guarded during intimate moments, and she realized he didn't feel safe being vulnerable. So she started being more non-judgmental, meeting his hesitations with compassion instead of pressure. One night, he admitted he was stressed and unsure, and she just held him, saying, "It's okay, I'm here." She said he relaxed in a way she'd never seen, and their connection deepened. He became more present, more open, because he felt emotionally safe. That's the thing. When a man feels exposed without trust, he withdraws, performs instead of connects. But when you create emotional safety, he lets his guard down, and that's when he can fully show up for you. Emotional safety looks like being non-judgmental when he opens up, letting him know through your tone, your body language, your energy that he's free to be real with you. It's in how you respond to his vulnerability. When he shares something raw, maybe a moment of awkwardness or emotional truth, how you react teaches him if it's safe to go deeper. I've seen this work so many times. Another friend, just a few months ago in February 2025, noticed her partner seemed tense during intimate moments. She started responding with kindness, like when he hesitated. She'd say, "We don't have to rush. I'm here with you." He told her it made him feel so accepted, and he started being more attentive, more generous, because the space between them felt safe. What makes this so powerful is that it doesn't just make a man feel relaxed, it makes him want to give more. When he knows he won't be judged for showing his softer side, he becomes more emotionally open, more connected in every moment. I remember another story. A woman I know was dating a guy last fall, around October 2024. So about 7 months ago, he'd sometimes pull back after being vulnerable, but she started creating a safe space by listening without trying to fix everything, just saying things like, "I'm here for you." Over time, he started sharing more, and their intimacy became so much deeper because he felt he could be himself without fear. If you want to create unforgettable intimacy, ask yourself, does he feel safe with me? Not just to be strong, but to be soft? Not just to impress, but to be real? I've seen women transform their relationships with this. One friend, last winter around December 2024, started focusing on being a safe space for her partner. She listened without judgment, respond with warmth, and she said it brought them closer in ways she didn't expect. He became more present, more emotionally engaged. When you give a man emotional safety, you give him permission to bring his whole self to the moment, and that's where connection goes from good to extraordinary. It's not just about the physical. It's about the emotional trust that makes the physical feel so much more meaningful. Let's move into the third thing that makes sex truly great for a man, spicy ladies: playfulness. This is something that's so often overlooked when it comes to intimacy, but it has the power to completely transform his experience. We put so much pressure on ourselves when it comes to sex. Pressure to perform, to impress, to get it right, to be exciting, adventurous, confident, sexy, seductive. The list goes on. And when there's pressure, especially in an intimate space, what disappears is the freedom that actually makes the moment memorable. Men feel this pressure too. Sometimes even more so. They're bombarded with ideas about what it means to be good in bed. And when a man is stuck in his head, worrying about whether he's doing enough, lasting long enough, or pleasing you enough, he's not present. He's disconnected from you and from himself. That's where playfulness comes in. It melts that pressure, invites you both back into the moment, and reminds you that sex isn't a performance or an audition. It's a space to be real. And real can be messy, silly, full of laughter, awkward moments, and unexpected twists. That's what makes it beautiful. Imagine this. You're with him, maybe getting cozy after a long day. Something goes a little off. Maybe you bump heads or trip over a pillow. And instead of getting embarrassed, you both burst out laughing, teasing each other about your clumsiness. That lightness, that shared moment of fun, it creates a bridge between you that lets connection thrive, even when things aren't perfect. I had a friend who discovered this last summer, around July 2024, so about 10 months ago. She and her partner were always so serious in intimate moments, trying to get everything right. One night, something funny happened. They got tangled in the sheets, and instead of stressing, she laughed and teased him, saying, "Wow, we're a mess, but I love it." She said it broke the tension, and they ended up having the best time because they were just enjoying each other, not trying to be perfect. That's the thing. Playfulness tells him, we don't have to get this right. We just get to enjoy each other, and that energy is magnetic. It lets him relax, stop trying to be some idealized version of a lover, and just be himself. Playfulness can look like a moment of laughter when something goes wrong, teasing him in a flirty, cheeky way, or trying something new without attaching pressure to the outcome. I've seen this work so many times. Another friend, just a few months ago in March 2025, started bringing more lightness into her relationship. She'd tease her partner during intimate moments, like playfully challenging him with a smirk. "Bet you can't keep up with me." He told her it made him feel so at ease, and he started being more present because the pressure was gone. The best sex isn't about intensity every second. It's about connection, and connection can't grow in a space weighed down by anxiety or judgment, but it can flourish in a space filled with fun and laughter. I remember another story. A woman I know was with her partner last fall, around November 2024. So about 6 months ago, they were trying something new, and it didn't go as planned. They both ended up laughing so hard they couldn't breathe. She said that moment brought them closer than any perfect night ever had, because they felt free to be themselves. When you bring curiosity and lightness to intimacy, it signals to him that he doesn't have to perform. He can just be, and that's enough. I've seen women transform their intimate moments with this. One friend, last winter around December 2024, started inviting more play into her relationship. She'd laugh at little mishaps, tease her partner in a flirty way, and she said it made their connection so much more fun and real. The truth is, the moments that are the most playful are the ones he'll never forget, because they're not scripted or forced, they're real. When a man is having fun, he lets go, stops overthinking, and gets present. And that's when sex shifts from routine to extraordinary. So don't be afraid to laugh a little more. Let things be imperfect. Invite play into your intimate moments. I've seen how this can change everything. One couple I know started making a game out of trying new things, not taking it too seriously, and they said it brought back a spark they hadn't felt in years. Playfulness reminds them that this moment is yours, shared, real, and that's what makes it unforgettable. Let's dive into the fourth thing that makes sex truly great for a man. Spicy ladies, the emotional connection you share outside the bedroom. This is a big one, because most people don't realize that great sex doesn't start with what you do in bed. It starts with how you relate to each other in everyday life. The emotional closeness, trust, and chemistry you build in the non-intimate moments shape everything else. When a man feels emotionally connected to you outside of those heated moments, the intimacy you share becomes so much richer, more grounded, more real. Think about the little things, those simple moments when you share a laugh, tease each other over coffee, checking on him after a tough day, listen without judgment, encourage his dreams, or make him feel respected and appreciated for who he is. Those moments matter so much. They tell him, "I see you, I value you, you're not just here for what you can give. I care about who you are." Imagine this. You're with him, maybe winding down after dinner. You asked about his day. Really listen. And when he shares something tough, you say, "I'm here for you. That sounds hard, and I'm proud of how you're handling it." That kind of emotional presence builds a bond that carries over into every intimate moment. I had a friend who saw this in action. Last summer, around August 2024. So about 9 months ago, she and her partner had been struggling with intimacy, but she realized they weren't connecting much outside the bedroom. So she started focusing on the small stuff, laughing together, checking in on him, showing appreciation for the little things he did. One day, she thanked him for always making her coffee in the morning, saying, "It makes me feel so cared for." She said it brought them closer, and their intimate moments became so much more passionate because he felt emotionally safe and seen. That's the thing. When a man feels connected to you in the quiet, everyday moments, his desire deepens, his guard comes down, and sex becomes a form of emotional expression, not just a physical release. Those daily acts of connection change the way he touches you, responds to you, the presence he brings to intimacy. I've seen this work so many times. Another friend, just a few months ago in March 2025, started being more intentional with her partner outside the bedroom. She'd leave little notes for him, tease him playfully during the day, show up with emotional presence when he needed to talk. He told her it made him feel so bonded to her, and their intimate moments felt deeper, like they were true partners, not just lovers. It's not about grand gestures. It's the small act of affection, the consistent emotional presence, the trust that builds when he knows you're there, not just when things are easy, but when he's struggling too. I remember another story. A woman I know was dating a guy last fall, around October 2024. So about 7 months ago, they'd had some tension, and she noticed it affected their intimacy. So she started focusing on their emotional connection, listening more, sharing laughs, being there for him without judgment. Over time, their intimacy transformed. It felt more open, more real, because the trust they built outside the bedroom carried over. So many people try to fix problems in the bedroom without realizing the root lies in how they treat each other during the day. If there's resentment or disconnection in your daily life, that follows you into intimacy. But when there's emotional closeness, ease, companionship, that comes into the bedroom too, making everything sizzle with more depth and passion. The truth is, men crave connection. They just don't always have the words for it. But when they find someone who makes them feel understood, emotionally close in those ordinary moments, that woman becomes unforgettable. I've seen this in action. One friend, last winter around December 2024, started focusing on building emotional closeness with her partner. She'd ask about his dreams, laugh with him over silly things, be there when he was stressed, and she said it made their intimacy so much more meaningful. He wasn't just attracted to her. He felt bonded to her. That's what makes sex extraordinary. It's not just about the physical act. It's about the emotional foundation you built together, the trust that makes him want to give more, feel more, be fully present with you. Let's wrap up with the fifth thing that makes sex truly great for a man, spicy ladies, admiration, not just for his body, but for who he is as a whole human being. There's a quiet truth most men carry, even if they don't say it out loud. They want to feel like more than just a body, more than a provider of pleasure, more than a performance. They want to feel valued for who they are, not just as a man in the physical sense, but as a person with depth, character, and heart. When it comes to intimacy, there's a hidden vulnerability in men that often goes unnoticed. Society tells them they're supposed to want sex all the time, to crave it constantly, to feel validated by how much they can give or how long they can last. But that's not desire, that's performance pressure, and it leaves them wondering, am I enough? Do I measure up? What cuts through all of that, what makes sex deeply meaningful and exciting for him, is when he feels admired for his being, not just his doing. Imagine this. You're with him, maybe sharing a quiet moment after a long day. You look at him and say, "I love how kind you are. It makes me feel so safe with you." That kind of admiration for his character, his humor, his emotional intelligence, taps into a part of him that's rarely seen, and it does something powerful. It makes him feel desire for the right reasons, not just for what he can do, but for who he is. I had a friend who saw this in action last summer, around July 2024. So about 10 months ago, she started telling her partner what she admired about him. Like, "I love how you always know how to make me laugh, even on my worst days." She wasn't just complimenting his looks or performance. She was seeing his heart, and she said it changed their intimacy. He became more expressive, more emotionally generous, because he felt truly valued. That's the thing. Admiration builds confidence in a way that no compliment about his abs or technique ever could. It makes him feel, she sees me, and she likes what she sees, and that opens him up in every intimate moment. Think about how you light up when someone admires something beyond your surface. Your heart, your values, your spirit. It's the same for men. They don't just want to feel like they're good in bed. They want to feel valuable in bed because they're valuable everywhere else too. I've seen this work so many times. Another friend, just a few months ago in March 2025, started showing her partner this kind of admiration. She'd say things like, "I admire how you always show up for your friends. It makes me so proud to be with you." He told her it made him feel so seen, and he started being more present, more connected during their intimate moments. I remember another story. A woman I know was dating a guy last fall, around October 2024. So about 7 months ago, she noticed he seemed to hold back emotionally. So she started pointing out what she admired, like, "I love how thoughtful you are. It turns me on so much." Over time, he opened up more because he felt desire for his whole self, not just his physical side. When you express admiration, not just think it, but say it, show it, live it, it makes him feel like his attraction to you goes deep in the physical, and that's what makes him want to give you everything. Let's bring it all together. Great sex for a man is emotional, intimate, real. It's when he feels desired, not just accepted, safe, not scrutinized, free to be playful, not pressured, connected outside the bedroom, not just during the act, and admired not just for what he does, but for who he is. These are the things that light a man up, not just in his body, but in his heart. I've seen women create this magic. One friend, last winter around December 2024, started focusing on all these elements. She showed her desire, created safety, brought playfulness, built emotional connection, and expressed admiration, and she said her partner told her he'd never felt so close to anyone. My challenge to you today is to notice where you can invite emotional depth into your connection, not just in heated moments, but in the quiet, unsexy moments of life. Express your desire through honesty. Show admiration for who he is. Create a space where he can be real. Because when you show up this way, you create intimacy that bonds you in a way that's unforgettable. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. That's the true secret to extraordinary intimacy. The kind that makes you the person he doesn't just fantasize about, but the one he remembers, respects, and chooses over and over again. Stay true to yourself. To all the spicy ladies make life beautiful, see you in our next video.